Hey guys, today we're looking at what's about to change in your life. And it could be anything, right? It could be any topic. We're going to let Spirit guide us. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to see who is coming through with this message today. Just a quick reminder that our next class is going to be Meet Your Guides, a beginner's guide to psychic development and psychic protection. And that starts on the 2nd of May, but enrollment has opened and started now. Okay, so who's coming through with this message? We have your warrior guide. So just as we were talking about meeting your guides, your warrior guides, your protection guides, your gatekeeper guide is who is coming through right now. And their message for you is to take courage, to take heart, right? There's nothing that's about to change in your life that Spirit knows you cannot handle, right? So have courage. All right, let's see what I want to talk about. What's about to change in viewer's life? What's about to change? Woo, what's this? All right, we have here your community is about to change. Now, I do see spiritual ancestors here. So for some of you guys, right, what's about to change in your life, it could be the death of someone in your community. That person is about to pass to ancestorhood. Okay? That could be what's about to change. But for a lot of you, what's about to change is the people around you. It could be even a change geographically that might occur. But either way, your community, your tribe, your village, it looks like that is about to take on some changes. So let's kind of deep dive into this and see exactly what is the message that they're bringing here. Spirit, how is viewers' community about to change? Spirit say, be strong. Your community is about to change. Your village is about to change. How is it about to change? We have Hangman in reverse. And the reason why your community is about to change is because for some of you, you've been dealing with some stagnation. You've been dealing with some stalemate energy, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your love life, whether it's in your family life. You've been feeling the stuckness. But Spirit saying you're about to be unstuck. And when you get unstuck, remember, when you're in stalemate energy, other people are in stalemate energy with you. You are about to be unstuck, so you're going to be leaving behind people that are not seeing progress in their life. And that's the way and the reason why your community is about to change. You are moving forward with the chariot, and there's some people that are going to get left behind. That's how your community is going to change. All right, let's deep dive. We have here the sword of truth. And there's nothing that parts the way for progress like the sword of truth. It goes before us and clears the path. Okay? So it looks like there's some truth that you finally saw. It just finally at this aha moment, right? And you realize exactly which direction to head in. And you also realize, and maybe it causes some grief, you also realize that there are parts of you, there are relationships, there are places that are about to expire, die, parts of yourself that you have to let go of, right? You have to release with love, right? So your community is changing because your vibrations change. Remember, everything and everyone that's attracted to us, they're attracted to us through sympathetic resonance. I say it all the time, through sympathetic resonance. Your vibration attracts similar vibration, right? Things, people, pets. Oh my God. I often say that, freedom is my religion. And recently, I've become a shepherdess. Now, not a spiritual shepherdess, huh? Like a literal shepherdess. My nephew has 3 sheep. Well, 2 adults and 1 lamb. And for some reason, they are by us. And most of the time, he's kind of busy, so I am the one that's tending to the sheep. And I was there when the Lammy was born. So the Lammy and I kind of bonded. And kind of, can I tell you, oh my God, she is so, in my culture, we call it own way. She's so autonomous. She is so autonomous. She does her own thing. She loves to run away. She loves to run away and explore. She is just so stubborn. Mwah. Right? She's so stubborn. So she didn't come here by guess. She wasn't born into this compound and environment by guess. All vibration, because my family's like that too. Freedom is our religion. All vibration attracted her to us. All right. So the sword of truth, you're finally going to download something. You're downloading some sort of truth, and that truth is going to make you take action. That truth is going to make you take back your power, right? It's going to be the end of bullshit. And that's why Spirit's telling you to have courage, because you're about to be launched into the unknown, right? And it's going to be a beautiful change for you. But with change comes goodbyes, right? We're not the same person, right? We're not around the same people. We're not in the same circumstance anymore. But we have Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, so it's new beginnings, and that's why there's gonna be change. And as I said, for some of you, different locale, and as I said, it's all happening because you made the first move. You are the one that changed your vibration. For some of you, it's going to mark the beginning of some sort of entrepreneurial endeavor, because the Queen of Wands is featured here. And she's action oriented. She's a businesswoman. So that's why I said something entrepreneurial. But she's also the Queen of Spirits. So it could be some kind of spiritual entrepreneurship that might be going on as well. So some of you guys might take the leap like I did, and move away from the corporate world. K-Moon also did that as well. K-Moon was very successful in the corporate world, but then you realize that you want something more. You want to feel fulfilled, right? You want to feel like you're doing something. You want to feel on path. So I feel like some of you guys are finally going to make that switch, going to make the decision. You tell me in the comments what you've been thinking about. You're going to make the switch. You're going to do something differently. Tell me what is it. Tell me about it in the comment. You're going to do something differently. And that differently is going to open up a whole new world, for you. And we have the High Priestess here. So this is a follow your intuition moment. This is a block out all the haters and just rely on your vibes. And I'm just feeling all tingly right now. Just rely on your vibes and the direction that you're heading in. The day before I resigned from my job, because I was a diplomat, and the day I resigned from my job, well, the day before, I just took one day off work, right? And those of you that follow me, you would know my story. I took one day off work, and I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't speak to my family, my friends. I didn't answer the phone. I did nothing. I didn't put out a video. I just stayed home. I meditated because I want to be clear in my mind that I wasn't doing something impulsive, and I wasn't reacting out of some sort of trigger, that I was making the best decision for me. But the truth about it is, I was feeling for a long time in my spirit that it was time for me to leave and do this full time. But then the ego is always thinking, are you crazy? Why would you leave a job that's safe? Because I'm working for government. Why would you do a job that's safe, a safety net, in order to do something like literally so nebulous, right? So nebulous, what would your family say? What would your friends say? What would people think about choosing a path like this, especially in a community like mine where we're kind of bipolar, in our waking life, right? or daytime hours, we're very straight laced, can be very religious, very, very religious. It doesn't matter what religion it is, very religious. But when it comes to spirituality, we have a lot of negative things to say about it. And that's on colonialism, right? That's on colonialism. Um, but when we are in trouble or we have an issue that we can't seem to make head or tails from, where do we go? We go straight to what we call the Obia man or the Obia woman, right? Right? The seer man or the seer woman. That's who we go to, right? So, what would people say, right? Especially, what would people say to, especially, I felt I had thick skin. What would people say to my family, right? About what I was doing. So I was very concerned about that. So, I took time, and in the end, you have to follow your path. You have to follow your vibes. You have to follow your intuition. And that's what I did. And there's not one day, even when it's been slow in terms of revenue, that I regret what I did. I regret that move. And that's the piece that you have to come to, that there will be absolutely no regret. So Spirit is saying, once you follow your vibe, once you follow your passion, because Queen of Wands, she's very passionate. You follow your vibes, you follow your passion, there's no way that you can lose. You are heading towards your destiny. Okay? And you feel it already. You know exactly what you have to do. Put it down below. Write it down. Put it down below in the comments what you know you have to do. Right? Because what you have to do is going to change your life. Now, let's ask Spirit some specific questions. All right? Because some of you guys, maybe you are tuning in just for an affirmation of what you think you might have to do. All right? Now, when it comes to your career, work, and finances, what does Spirit say you've got to do right now? What does Spirit say you have to do? All right. So Spirit is saying some of you guys have been suffering. You've been in some long suffering jobs, right? You're in a toxic work environment. Maybe you feel oppressed or controlled. And for some of you guys, maybe it might have even been like entities oppressing, controlling, suppressing you and your talent and your spirit, right? Hostile work environments, places where you can't grow, you can't elevate it. There's no upward mobility, right? Spirit saying it is time to shift that, and you shift that by Spirit saying you've learned. Divine teachers are saying you've learned all you need to learn from that experience. It's time to move on. Spirit saying right now, follow your vibration, follow what you love. What is it that you love doing, especially on a day-to-day basis? What do you find yourself doing? What do you find yourself passionate about? What makes you feel free, right? What makes you feel at peace? That is going to be your guide. That is going to be your guide. Look back on your life, because we have the page of swords here, right? And one thing he does, he reflects. He does a lot of self-reflection. Look back on your life and look at what have you always found yourself doing, either as a hobby, either as for work. What makes you feel passionate? What's going to get you out there on the streets protesting? Spirit say, follow that passion and stop accepting crumbs from these workplaces or whatever work situation you're in. Spirit saying, time to switch it up. And you don't have to leave the job. Maybe you just need to go to a different department, or you need a new job title, right? But Spirit saying there's something that's more aligned to what you love and your spirit than what you're doing right now for work. Okay? Let's check family, and then we're going to do love. And then we'll we'll close this up, right? All right, family members. What's changing? What do you need to do? We have survival. All right. So some of you guys, you've been through it with your family. Okay? And for a lot of you, it feels like there's some people that you have already identified, right? That they're just sharks in the water. Look at the sharks there. They're just sharks in the water, waiting for you to fail, right? Sharks in the water, sending you all sorts of negative vibrations, negative projections, real dream killers. You tell them what you want to do, and they always have something negative to say. Spirit is saying, I wouldn't say cut them off, but for some of you, you're already thinking of going no contact or low contact with these people. Spirit saying, one, do what you need to do, and two, as often as you can, put yourself in a bubble, a protective bubble of light, to protect yourself from the projections, the negative projections, or the evil eye that's coming from these people that are just waiting for you to fail so they can gobble you up verbally, spiritually. Okay? So Spirit saying, put yourself in a bubble of light. Let me see if there's any further messages coming through. Spirit say, protect yourself from them. We have here Four of Pentacles, and that's about holding on. And sometimes, we really buy into this blood is thicker than water thing, right? So no matter what people do to us, family members do to us, we feel that, we still have to honor them, we still have to hold on. But if they're not honoring you, Spirit is saying they're no kin of yours, right? They're no kin of yours. They're no kin of yours, and no love lost, right? So you know who these people are. I don't have to tell you they are. And Spirit saying you're better off alone than having these energy vampires, because that is the word that is coming through. Energy vampires suck the life and the dream out of you. All right, what Spirit wants you to do in love? What Spirit wants you to know and do in love? Oh, God. All right. So we have here coming through, we have shame. And some of you guys have been carrying around a lot of shame. And this shame has been connected to either a present or past experience where you've been connected to a third party energy. There's some kind of triangulation, whatever relationship or connection you have, somebody else is in it, and you have been feeling ashamed of participating in that kind of setup. No matter how you slice it, you dice it, you still feel a lot of shame around either being with this person, loving this person, that kind of thing, or having had loved this person, right? You're still carrying around a lot of shame from that. But Spirit saying it's time to let that go, because it's keeping you stuck in the same cycle over and over again. Let's see. Yeah, Spirit saying it's time to let it go, right? Let go that shame you're feeling. And for some of you, Spirit is letting you know that it's time to also let go of that connection or relationship. This is how you break the karmic cycle, by letting go. And it doesn't mean that that is the end for you and your person. In fact, you may find that as you walk away or disconnect from that triangulation, from that love triangle, right, it brings your person more in focus or more aligned with their own feelings for you, okay? And it can signal a revival of your relationship. But if you continue to accept what you're accepting right now, that's all you'll ever get. That's what Spirit is saying. If you continue to accept crumbs, that's what's going to continue. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. So true love is going to continue to be delayed for you. Okay? So Spirit saying, maybe you've been deceiving yourself, right? That, what you're doing, you're not feeling any sort of way about what's been happening, that you're okay, that you're feeling fulfilled. But Spirit saying, what you really want, what you really, really want, is true love, and someone that loves you, invests in you, just as how much you love and invest in possibly somebody that's in your life right now. And it looks like you've not received this cup as yet. Okay? So reject what you don't want. That's what Spirit says. Reject what you don't want so that Spirit can bring in what you do want. Okay? All right. So let me get some last word of advice, and then we're going to wrap up this reading, all right? So everything changes when you change. Reject what you don't want. We have here So Spirit saying it's gonna be a bittersweet time for you because there's so many new opportunities in career, love, family members, right? You might know that you might find out that you have support where you didn't think you had any. Right? But Spirit saying it is also going to be some grief too, because there's some things and some people that you gotta say goodbye to. But Spirit saying at the end of the day, the most important lesson or most important message that they want you to know is trust your instincts. You got it. You tapped in. You know exactly what you need to do. Trust the instincts. Okay? And my love, so that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. If you want your own personal reading, the link is down below. If you want to sign up for the Meet Your Guides class, link is down below as well. But just let me know what you've been feeling in your own psyche. If this resonates with what you've been, the vibrations that you've been getting. And please subscribe, like the channel. Take care.